Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. When you see the working of any machine or any software, in that there are different components, and all these components are working in unison. Component 1 is in cooperation with component 2, component 2 is in cooperation with component 3, and there is a systematic symbiotic existence between the different components. So as a whole, it functions perfectly well. Similarly, each component by itself is also complete. So there are two things, like a chain. In chain there are different small rings. So each ring is complete in itself, and all these rings are joined together, and that also brings out a beautiful ornament. If these examples are clear, similarly, Bhagavad Gita is such a scientific thesis on the scientific lifestyle that each and every chapter is complete in itself. Even if you study one chapter exhaustively, completely, you get sufficient information about living your life in a most beautiful manner, most perfect way. In the same manner, if you study the whole Bhagavad Gita, that will add beauty to your perfection. And therefore, what we have been doing last 16 sessions, today is the 17th session. Each chapter we have studied exhaustively and tried to bring out what are the contents and how these contents are directly influencing our life and how we can modify and change ourselves. Friends, scientific approach is a readiness to change yourself. Be very attentive. We have discovered the law of gravity. After that discovery, we are now ready to change according to that law of gravity. We don't say, maybe that law is discovered in UK, it is the Britishers' law. I am Indian, no more under the control of the Britishers. So I don't believe in the law of gravity. Then what do? I peep out of the 14th story and want to challenge this law of gravity. You are welcome. See? So when we are dealing with science, it is that we are ready to change and adapt ourselves. That is the meaning of scientific life. The same approach holds good when you are walking the spiritual path. Normally what happens? We see most of the people who are the victims of spirituality. My observation is, materialists are less miserable than the so-called pseudo-spiritualist. Because how it is, you go to our chowpati and there our all bhaiyas are selling the chaat. So when the chaat is sold, they believe in energy recycling. So all the salt that they consume, they add it as a dressing and give it. Now a person who knows about it, he will never like to go and eat that. And such people, they watch other people enjoying and they suffer. See? This is a very tragic condition. One friend of mine met me recently. He said, Swamiji, I am in a most pathetic condition. I said, never mind, come. He said, no, you please sort me out. What is the problem? The problem is, I am no more interested in the worldly enjoyment. He's a young boy, mid-30s. I am no more interested in the worldly enjoyment. But that doesn't mean I have faith in the God. So my condition is, I am neither having faith in the scriptures, in the Lord, to walk the spiritual path, nor I have any more interest left in the worldly enjoyments. So now tell me what I should do. Now just you think about it. What will you tell him? Because to live in this material world, you require a lot of desire force. See? I want to do this, I want to do that, I shall do this thing and see how it is not possible. And if somebody comes in my way, I cut his throat, I cut his pocket and see that I succeed. But if I don't have that, theek hai. Te mile anante taise chi rahave. Whatever is there is okay. Please remember, wisdom leading to withdrawal and foolishness leading to depression, they look alike. Depression and the wisdom, it look alike, Like the fools and the wise and the otherwise, they exactly look alike. Both of them have no interest. The wise people have no interest in the world, and the otherwise people have no interest in the other world. And friends, when you don't have interest in your life becomes a boredom. You are simply carrying the load. So this friend of mine, he was telling Swamiji, kindly don't brush me because you are expert brush master. These are his words. You can brush anybody very easily. I said, yes, brush skills. These two factors. If you have a lot of objective orientation in your life, you can be really dynamic and exert yourself. But the question is, how long? See, unless you are the ex-president who celebrates his 80th birthday by jumping from the air in a parachute and still survives. All were hopeful. Now those who understood. Those who never mind. You don't have to understand anything. Stand under. So, unless you are this matter oriented, unless you are enjoyment oriented, you cannot enjoy this world. Now you have withdrawn in a wrong manner. And when you withdraw in a wrong manner, what happens? I don't have any interest. Let's go out and have a nice dinner in some beautiful hotel. No, Swamiji, we'll have it at home. I had left over yesterday's sabji, and we'll buy some pav and have it something. But why not go there? See, you go all the way and again come back. Ultimately, whatever we eat only up to the throat level, it has a taste. Inside, everything is same. This is not dispassion. This is lack of interest. Please remember, scientific approach to life does not bring out the death out of you. Scientific approach to life does not mean you are only adding years to your life. If you remember, I told you long time back, I was asked to inaugurate one department in a medical college in Coimbatore. That was my first interaction with a new term which I had learned. And that term was the geriatrics. Now, what is the meaning of geriatrics? I never knew. Because I don't know any tricks. So, I went there, a huge gathering, and doctors and big people from other countries have come. Then I was there, Babaji sitting, and they all started presenting their papers. I know only newspaper. They started presenting research paper. I go, my God. Research is what? In the language of computer, cut and paste. Nothing else. He has done this thing, he has done that thing, he said like that, he said like that, they agreed, they don't agree, this is what I have presented. So what? Give me PhD? All the PhDs are bakwas, no meaning in that. Those who are good for nothing, they do PhD. Those who are unsuccessful in life, they go for doctorate. So, all the papers were being presented. And in that presentation, I could discover geriatrics means a department of Buddha. Buddha means oldies. And the papers were, one doctor from US started presenting his paper with all the slideshow. First slide. This is my home in California. Now what you have to do with the geriatrics and California home? First slide. Second slide. This is my car. The third slide. This is my dog. Fourth slide. In the order of priority. This is my wife. You can imagine. And the papers were presented, and from that data, whatever I collected, I could gather that this is what they are talking about oldies. Now, after listening for 2-3 hours, a solid boredom, because what is there to talk about old age? Isn't it? First of all, old age is a boredom. Second thing, talking about old age, super boredom. So they were talking about that. And then we can do this thing so that you can have your longer life and you will not have problems. Your back problem can be solved, knee problem can be solved. You can replace everything these days except wisdom. Okay. And then now we request Swamiji to kindly inaugurate this department. So I got up. I said, I do not know why you have called me suspecting that I am old or what. Maybe matching to the occasion. And then I said, first of all, I will blame all the medical professionals the world over who are responsible for the population problem in the whole world. Now what is the population problem? During earlier times, if you know, if there are some oldies here, why you put if? You must be having 6, 7 brothers, 4, 5 sisters, and the house used to be nicely a whole cricket team. You don't have to go neighbors, they are together. You can 6, 7 brothers, sisters and all that. Now if every family has got such a litter of siblings, then the population is growing, you can understand. Today what is the condition? Hum do, hamara adha adha. Not even full 2 children per family. And yet the population is growing. What is the reason? I put this question to them. They started, yes, that's a really serious question. I said, no, you are responsible for that. And they could never catch me. And they said, Swami, you are not getting your point. I said, you are responsible. Understand now. Why don't you allow the old people to die? Think. If you take the classified description of the world population, what has happened? That the old people have outnumbered all other categories. More than 70% of the population has become old. About 20-25% is the middle age. And children are, you have to see them with a binocular. Hey, ladka dikh gaya. See? Then I told them, look here. What you are doing scientifically is only adding years to the life. That is wrong. What is required is add life to every year that you live. That is scientifically. See? लंबा हुआ तो क्या जैसे पेड़ खजूरा, छाया नहीं पथिक को फल लागे अति दूरा. If somebody is old, so what? Think. We have to add life to our existence. And if that life is not added to our existence, we either suffer the depressions or we become the abnormals. See? Today in the world over, this problem of depression, committing suicide, all these things has grown up so much. Do you know what is the reason? This is the luxury of prosperity. Prosperity unsupported by the scientific spirituality leads to perversion. And that perverted existence is called as depression. See? Therefore the problem is, my friend's problem, I don't have interest, in these worldly things, nor I have faith in the God to walk the spiritual path. Therefore, I don't know where I am. Trishamku. Neither belonging to this world of relative existence, nor able to walk the spiritual path, because to walk the spiritual path, you require guts. Upanishad very clearly tells, Nayamatma darapokena labhyaha. The truth is not for those who are the dropouts from life. The other day, one boy came and he said, Swamiji, I want to join this Vedanta course that you are teaching. I said, what do you do? Nothing. Are you working somewhere? Nothing. What is your qualification? I have done software engineering. So, you don't take up any job? No, I have no interest. I said, if you have no interest, how will you study scriptures? To study scriptures, you require interest. Recently, I had a camp in Lonavala, 15 days, Hindi camp, Narada Bhakti Sutra. In 15 days, the participants were having spiritual poisoning. They were waiting. Now when we go home, enough of Bhagwan, 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 enough. So, unless we come home, and then there, saas bhi kabhi bahu thi, and then kasauti, and, this thing, that thing. Prerna ka kya hua? Swamiji, for last so many days, I have not seen. अब उसकी शादी होने वाली है. अच्छा, किसके साथ? मेरे साथ. It is so difficult, friends, to be committed to the higher cause. Therefore, we require some guidance. And that guidance is told in Bhagavad Gita. In the 16th chapter, if you all remember that there is a 16th chapter in Gita also, towards the end, the teacher has brought out this topic. There are 3 gateways to hell. One child asked me this question also. In one of the, gathering I was talking, and he was sitting with everybody. And all elders, they don't have questions, they have problems. Because they themselves are the source of all the problems. But this child, very intelligent, he was listening. And elderly people have asked questions, Swamiji, if the wife is like that, what we should do? I am so fed up with my wife. I said, when you got married, did you ask me? The other day, one person asked still different question on phone. Swamiji, I am so fed up of this wife, I don't know what to do. So I asked, I said, confidentially I am asking, whose wife? You are fed up of. So, when we are told that there are 3 gateways to hell, that child asked, Swamiji, why there are 3 gateways to hell? And how many gateways are there to the heaven? I said, heaven there is only one gateway. And that too also opens for 10 minutes in a year. And rest of the time, only 3 hell gateways are open. But why? I said, because of the rush. More the rush, higher the number of counters. Kama, Krodhas, Tatha, Lobha, these 3 of them. The more we are functioning under the load of desires, what is the desire? Desire is an open statement of bankruptcy and miserable existence. See? This is the modern lifestyle. Take a lot of money from everybody, float a company and let all the shareholders share their miseries. And then declare bankruptcy. At the most, what will happen? 7 years you are not again allowed to enter the market. But that 7 years you live very comfortably. Again you start another one, isn't it? Anubhavananda. Do you remember? Pig farms. So, if these desires are such a big load, and without these desires, we cannot get involved in this world. Now see the tragedy. Unless I have a desire, I will not get involved into anything in this world. But desire and the siblings, anger and the greed, they will take me to hell. Now what do I do? See? And therefore, our scriptures come in our way. They say, look here, to fulfill desires is not a sin. But you must have a well-defined desire-fulfilling plan. You have to have a well-defined operation system. It is something like this. Earning money is nothing wrong. Earn money. But how you should earn money? Suppose somebody is a rich person and you want to earn money. Go and kill him. Hey, this money is mine. Are you in the gladiator's age? See, today when I was coming, I was reading one of the codings. Cleopatra married her brother. One can do anything for being the queen. See, desire to become a queen. That was the tradition of the Western world. But is it right? Because you want to become the queen, you marry your own brother so that you can become a queen? No, this is not the right way. So fulfill your desires. There is nothing wrong. But it has to be done under a proper conduct of civil code. See? You protect yourself. There is nothing wrong. But under the disguise of protecting yourself, you start killing others, it is wrong. See? Give freedom. Freedom is required. But if the freedom means I can take guns and shoot anybody, that is not freedom. Therefore, whenever we have to live our life to fulfill our desires, we have to have a well-defined individuality who is living as a part of the total society. Be very attentive. The traffic rules are framed keeping in view the total population. Traffic rules are not framed keeping in view one particular person. See? Now why? Because if all the people follow those traffic rules, I am talking under Bombay condition. In Delhi it is the other way around. So, those people who are following the traffic rules, what will happen? There will be a comfortable mutual existence. So, my desire to drive the car is fulfilled, but when this desire to drive the car is given a guarded freedom, not unguarded freedom. And therefore, friends, fulfill your desire. Our scriptures very clearly tell, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, 4 of them. You earn money, artha, there is nothing wrong. You fulfill your desire, there is nothing wrong. But if earning money and fulfilling your desires to enjoy this world, if it is not guarded by the traffic rules, we will go astray. See? And therefore, there is a third principle, and the principle is dharma. Now, when we talk about dharma, we are not talking about Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh. No, they are not dharma. Dharma is a code of conduct where all the beings, not human beings, all the beings are allowed to live in a mutually beneficial coexistence. Friends, not only in this life, but the life hereafter. So the Shastra or the scriptures and all the rules and regulations which are meant to be followed by us, so that not only we live happily, but we allow others to live happily. This is called as the scriptures. And therefore the teacher says in the 16th chapter that those who are not following yaha shastra vidhi musrujya vartate kamakarataha, those who are not following this discipline of living in a cooperative coexistence under the rules and regulations as given by the Lord Himself. Be very attentive. If I go to US and I start driving their car according to Indian traffic rules, and if the police catches me, and if I did, I am the proud citizen of India. I will drive the car according to the rules and regulations of my Bharat Maha. सौ में 90 बेईमान, फिर भी मेरा भारत महान. समझे? See? What will be the reply given to me by the police? Very good. We are happy that you are proud of India. Go back. If you have to live in this country, you have to follow those traffic rules. If this example is understood, we are living in whose creation? Our creation. See? We are living in the divine creation. So, divine laws are only operating in this world. And if we do not follow the divine laws and keep on changing the in-laws after every 6 months, the other day somebody asked me, Swamiji, you move so many places. Why don't you start, fixing the marriage of the people? There are so many people young boys and girls. I said, yes, if you visit my website, there is a button there. MBA. Open it. What is that? Marriage Bureau of Anubhavananda. MBA. And the motto, my logo's motto is be happy. Now imagine the one who tells be happy, will he tell to get married? This whole world is classified only in two categories. Happy people and married people. There is no third category. So, I said there, you will see this thing. Select one, take two free. So, when we are living in this world, according to the scriptural injunctions, what will happen? We get married, not once in a while, only once. See what a change it will make. Be very, very attentive. Today, what is happening in the whole world, everywhere, particularly wherever there is no control of the religious principles on their own population. See? What Dharma tells, what Shastra tells. Don't live like animals. You are by mistake born as human being. This is my principle. Many people may not agree, but who cares? According to the science of karma in our scriptures, according to Yoga Shastra, we are told we are all what we are because of our past karma. This is according to law of karma. I don't agree with this. Second, the devotees tell we are what we are because of God's grace. This also I don't agree. Then we are what we are. Why? Because God's mistake. We don't deserve according to the calculations of sins and merits. So if he has done a mistake, use it quickly and know the truth. Otherwise, he will correct his mistake. Arey, galti pakad mein aa gaye. And next life he will take you out from the human form and put you into a mosquito. Go on sucking everybody's breath. So when we lead a life of a human being with the dignity of being a human being, there is a well-defined society. And when there is a well-defined society, there will be a well-defined code of conduct. And when there is a well-defined code of conduct, there is a well-defined generation after generation. There won't be overlapping of generation. What is the overlapping of generation? The other day I was in England and One person came for the meditation camp and he has to go one day early. He said, Swamiji, will you please excuse me, I have to go one day early. Don't mind. I said, it's okay, go ahead. He said, you didn't ask what work I have got. I said, no, whatever work you have got, it is fine for you. I don't want to know also. He said, no, but I want to tell you. What is that? And today, is my mother's marriage. Only in the prosperous society, the children can attend a mother's marriage. Then I said, oh, I didn't know. Swami, there is nothing to feel. This is the third one. This is called an overlapping of generations. See? Why this happens? Kamakarataha. There is kamakar driven by the ahankar and ultimately becoming bekar. Kamakarataha. Now why we are so much under the influence of our own impulses? Only because we have not accepted the self-discipline as told by the scriptures. Friends, scriptures are not our enemies. When we are told, get up early in the morning, spend your time in the contemplation of the Lord, do his puja poti. So that doesn't mean the scriptures are our enemies. No. What they mean is, if you start your day early in the morning, you are required to go to sleep early in the evening, earlier. And when you retire from the day earlier, you are not exposed to unwanted late nights. Think. And when you start your day early in the morning, you start your day in a fresh mood. But when we start our day very early in the morning, 10 o'clock, 9:30, 11 o'clock, then how do we start? There is a hang-up. Why? Because liquid spirituality. I was in Goa, this Rotary conference. 3 states were involved, a huge gathering. And after that, lecture was over. This first day, second day I went. Naturally, the first night, Goa means what? Feni. Isn't it? So they had the local drinks and all that. And party means what? All these people come for such gathering. Do you think for the welfare of the world? There is farewell of the world. That was the welfare. And then they were submerged in the liquid spirituality. And next day again they had to come for the conference. So all of them were sitting in the Shambhavi Mudra. So I was thinking, what happened? All Rotarians realize or what? Only by my presence? God! So, after my lecture was over, then one person asked this question. Swamiji, last night we had lots of spirit, and today you are a spiritual person standing before us. What should we understand between these two? And he retired. And the whole atmosphere was so intoxicating. So I told him, I said, look here, your spirituality gives you a hang-up. Our spirituality gives you a stand-up. You don't hang up. Now, how do we do this in our life? Only one method. You must have seen in Maharashtra, many places on the backside of these STs, state transport buses, something is written, Manacha brake, Uttam brake. That doesn't mean a broken mind, please understand. If you have control over your mind, you will not overtake and drive a rash driving. See? And that mind with which we have to function in this world, how much care we are taking? Zero. And therefore, friends, if we understand all the do's and don'ts given in our scriptures, they are for our good. Scriptures are not our enemies. And when you start your day early in the morning with a spirit to live dynamically and spread joy, because you have got some higher purpose to live in, you be very attentive. An inspired person does not require desire to bring out the best out of him. Yesterday in Anandi we went, and there is one place which I go. First we went to Santa Ganeshwar Samadhi. We had nice darshan and all that. Then there is a very good Mahatma, good friend of mine also. And he has a very excellent Gurukul where they are teaching the children who are committed for studying the scriptures, for learning the Vedas. Because today in our country, all the branches of Vedas, Shukla Yajurved, Krishna Yajurved, Samaved, Atharvaved, they are getting lost because neither there are teachers, nor there are students, nor there is anybody to take care of this. Our Samaved had 1,000 branches. Today there are only 3 of them left. Others have disappeared. So we went to that place. And after everything was over, the children chanted all that. And when we were coming out, one of the participants came and said, Swamiji, today you have changed my life. I said, I am so sorry. No, Swamiji, today I have understood. Living for the self, even the dogs and animals can do. If our life is only living for the selfishness and thereby only sail the fish and have the stink of existence, or live for the self, the Isha, and be inspired so that millions are benefited by your very presence, that is called as life worth lived or worth living. This type of lifestyle is called as adding life to every year that you live. See? There are 2-3 examples about this. The one common example is all we know, Vivekananda. That doesn't mean that there is only one Vivekananda as an abnormal specimen. No, there are millions which are unrecorded, which are not known to us. So that young man, his productive life was not more than 15 years. But within that 15 years, how much he has done? Even in his absence, by the very name Vivekananda, even a dead person gets inspired. That is life. That is adding life to every moment that you live. And he did not live. Or I should have a wife, I should have children, and thereafter children will grow, and then go to kg, and then go to quintal, and then I will go to hell. Nachike says, Sasyamiva martyaha pachyate, Sasyamiva jayate punaha. Like the grass we are born and grow. Which grass? Congress grass. Parthenium. And again it perishes. Goes on and on and on. Is it really life really lived? No. Therefore, friends, to come out of these clutches of the desires as a propelling force to live life, What is required is we live our life not under the compulsion of the desires, but under the inspiration of joyful existence. And that is possible only when we have taken the support of Shastra, the scriptural lifestyle as given in our scriptures. Therefore, ye Shastra vidhim utsrujya vartate kamakarataha. Those who do not lead their life with a discipline. And you know the most beautiful part? Now all of you who have come here on your own, underline, must be enjoying. And those who are tethered and brought, come. Now, see that person? Why? The watch has stopped her. Every additional minute, this Babaji is going more and more seriously, deeper and deeper. रात को डिप्र का प्रयोग करो. Friends, whenever you lead your life of self-discipline, self-imposed discipline is a freedom. See? And the discipline which is imposed from outside, it is a burden. Most of us lead our life as a burden. And then we imagine we have a freedom to be miserable. Therefore, friends, scriptures very beautifully give us a scheme of lifestyle by which you fulfill your desire. There is nothing wrong. Everybody need not become a Babaji. Many people have this funny notion. Swamiji, your lectures as if you want everybody to become Babaji. I never want anybody to become Babaji. It is a question of my survival. If you all become Babaji, my market will be lost. I will have to create another market because I survive on your ignorance. Continue to be where you are. Like all the doctors survive on the diseases. So, vartate kamakarataha. Now, be very attentive. Observe what is now scriptural injunctions of the spiritual life or scientific life. Be very attentive. When you are functioning in this world, where is your point of observation? When you are doing some experiments, for example, you have taken, let us take, some virus for producing the vaccine. Once in one laboratory they took me to show. I said, hey, how do you produce these vaccines from the virus? That time I discovered many things. That the kind of viruses which produces the disease like HIV virus, etc., they are called as biological viruses. Then our computer viruses are called as the logical viruses. Bio has gone. And our ego is an illogical virus. There is no logic behind it. So they took me there. And then they said, Swamiji, what we do, we take, this particular dose and we inject through the ear vein, he is not mine, through the ear vein of that mice, give a dose and we leave it. Okay, then after that, after 1 week, we slaughter that mice. And after slaughtering the mice, then we open and see the spleen. And then we see how much is the measurement of that spleen. If the measurement is beyond this particular limit, then that particular virus has multiplied sufficiently and now that spleen becomes a source of making many doses. If this example is understood, in the same manner, how do we know that we are living and functioning under the virus of desire or under the joy of inspiration. Both. If we function under the influence of the desire, we are booked to hell. And if we have to live in this world, fulfill our desires, and yet do not become the victims of the desires. So what is the way? This is the way. That we lead our life, we fulfill all our desires, not the way we want, but according to the scriptural injunctions. Once this self-disciplined lifestyle is lived, you will see there is more freedom in self-discipline than the imaginary freedom of leading a licentious existence. And therefore, in the 16th chapter at the end, the teacher says, such a person who is only leading to fulfill his own desire the way he wants, what happens to him? Na sa siddhim avapnoti, na sa sukham avapnoti, na sa param gatim avapnoti. Three things. Neither he becomes a perfectionist in this world. If you want to become a perfectionist, efficient person, you have to have a totally cool and alert mind. Then you can have real great performance. But the one who is all the time under the influence of the desires is a victim, and a victim cannot perform the best. Siddhi means ability to convert your proficiency into efficiency. These were the two words our Swami used to use. Proficiency is your expertise in a limited field. Like you go to the doctor. To whom you go? To the expert. Now who is an expert? He who knows more and more about less and less. Ultimate will be he who knows everything about nothing. The expert most. So, you go to the expert, he knows only about that, nothing beyond that. That is proficiency. Professional efficiency. And what is efficiency? You are efficient in every field. Like, you may be a proficient doctor. You may be a proficient CA. That does not give you a certificate that you are a proficient husband. Rather, you are an efficient husband. Or you are an efficient wife. No. But if you are an efficient person, you will be proficient in every department of activity. Siddhi means this. Siddhi doesn't mean walking on the water. Siddhi doesn't mean flying in the air. Mosquitoes fly. All Siddha Purushas. So, na sa siddhim avapnoti. Second, na sukham. All the indulgences leave behind a sense of exhaustion and frustration. What I am telling you from Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad very beautifully brings out. Our Nachiket is given a list of temptation by his teacher. And Nachiket brushes them very beautifully. He says, Shobhava martyasya yadantagaitat sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha api sarvam jivitam alpameva tavaiva vaha tava nritya gite. Oh teacher, don't tempt me with these worldly enjoyments. What they do? Sarvendriyanam tejaha jarayanti. The more you indulge, the less you enjoy. See? I was in probably States and in somebody's house. And they had a lot of chocolates, this, that. Now one child, I don't want chocolate, I want that particular time, why didn't you bring this thing, I don't want this. Others were there, good chocolate, I want that brand only. Now why that crying? Because so much is available. Then I said, hey, will you do experiment? What? Do you know why children in India enjoy so much chocolates? No, Swamiji. I said, because they get one chocolate once in a 15 days. One chocolate. But how does it matter? I say you try. Don't eat any chocolate for one full week. And after that, whichever one chocolate is given to you by your mom, that alone you have to eat. Make it a point and tell me after 1 month. And they really tried. And afterwards, Swamiji, it's a great technique we never knew. Whenever we indulge more, the intensity of joy reduces. See? The other day, I was in some Western countries and I had to eat only that useless food. What you call sandwiches and then the cheese and pasta and what you call pizza, paratha, all that. Now all cold. Coffee cold, everything cold. I couldn't imagine how these people survive. But I had no choice. I ate for 15 days. Then I was flying from London to India. And there I get my Asian vegetarian meal. And that meal, I was so happy to eat and I was really enjoying. And then when they came to collect, so I said, hey, don't you have one more? Yes, sir, you want more? Yes. I said, the food is really, really good. Why really good? For 15 days only sandwiches. See, na sukham. We lose the charm of our life if we indulge without control. Now the third thing. Na parangati. What is the parangati? The absolute perfection or the joy of life. The absolute perfection or joy of life is you are completely independent. You are not happy because of the wife. You are happy in spite of her. That is your greatness. You are not happy because you are getting Rashagulla. No, even if you don't get, it doesn't matter. When you have discovered that you are the source of all bliss in this world, you will not run in the world to gather blisters. Think. That is called as the ultimate in human existence. Therefore, here the teacher has given a very clear picture. Those who are the victims of their uncontrolled passions, they are leading a self-destructive life. And therefore, towards the end the teacher told, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Bhavasthitau. Therefore, who will decide what we should do and what we should not do? See? I was given an appointment letter in a university. So, I got the letter and went with that appointment letter to the Vice Chancellor. Sir, I got this appointment letter. What is my duty? So he saw that appointment letter. And by God's grace, they have forgotten to print the post to which I was appointed. Now, without knowing what post I am appointed, even the Vice Chancellor cannot give me any duty. So he called, such and such reference number, to what post is appointed? Because probably you have forgotten to print that. Oh, this authorized. Oh, he is appointed as a watchman. Okay. The moment I am appointed as a watchman, better than a watchdog. If I am appointed as a watchman, now what is my duty? Who will decide? University or me? University, is it not? And when the university decides, is university something like a lady? No. University means the rules and regulations of the university. Friends, We are all born in this world and we are appointed as the son, the daughter, the mother, the father, the husband, the wife, the in-law, the outlaw, the citizen, the friend, the enemy. We are all appointed by him. Therefore, what is our duty? Who will decide? Our own freedom? No. And therefore, tasmat shastram pramanante. Therefore, please remember this. But what happens? We have taken always the pride in disobeying the laws. Isn't it? I was somewhere, probably in New Zealand or somewhere. You don't see even, hardly any police anywhere. And we are coming late at night somewhere, going through some town or village to reach Auckland. And when we are crossing, there was a stop sign. Stop 4 ways. And my friend, he stopped. He said, hey, koi to nahi hai, chalo na. Why do you stop? He said, Swamiji, we are not in India. When there is a stop sign, whether somebody is there or not, we are supposed to stop. Who told me? Indian. In Singapore, I was playing fool with my friend. I was eating popcorns. And after I finished that, I took that paper thing and I down the window. I said, 1, 2, Swamiji, stop! Don't do that! So why? Here it is illegal to litter. Who tells me Indian? Now the same Indian, when he comes to India, he will take out the useless thing from the house and go out of the window and watch. When somebody is going, he will put it. Purnavadaha purnavidam purnat purnamudachyate Krishnarpanamastu. So, what I want to say is, we have the faculty to observe all the rules and regulations in our life. But we have always taken a liberty to break the rules, is it not? And breaking the rules has become a pride of existence. And this lifestyle is further permeated in and through our total lifestyle. When our scriptures are telling what is our duty as a mother, father, son, daughter, etc. And if we all do our duties, there cannot be any wrong lifestyle. But when I am a pita, father, but instead of a rasva pita, if I am a pita all the time before the children, so what will I tell? My child, I am spiritual, you also become spiritual. We start with the liquid and end up into a solid. See? These rules and regulations are very simple. See, our Bhagavad Gita told us in 3rd chapter, Yadyad acharati sreshtaha tattadeve tarojana. Whatever elderly people demonstrate, that alone is practiced by the children. And if I as an elderly person is not leading my life in a responsible manner, under the disguise of so-called freedom from the scriptures, we are going the wrong way. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Akarya Vyavasthitau. Who will decide? Vyavasthiti means what? The method of coexistence, implementation of the law is called a Vyavasthiti. Who will decide what we should do, what we should not do? Is only the authority of the scriptures. Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karyo Vyavasthitau Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharasi. Therefore, Arjun, you have no freedom in this world to live the way you want. You have to lead your life according to the scriptural injunctions. In short, when we fulfill our duties, the rights of all the people around us, they are taken care of. But if I talk about my right and forget about my duty, and everybody talks about their own right and forget about their own duty, Mera Bharat Mahan is born. See, the other day, one of the retired military personnel, a very good friend of mine, he was telling me, Swamiji, do you know one peculiar thing, phenomena that is happening in our Indian military? I said, I don't know. He said, there are no candidates to join the officers' rank. Very few. Many posts are vacant. The reason? Nobody wants to go and join. Because they see that there are other avenues open where they can earn more. See, the other day in Times of India, there was a very beautiful cartoon. If you are misappropriated, if you are killed, if you are murdered, if you are a terrorist, join politics. Everything will be sorted out. See, the result is nobody has any value for the so-called Desha Bhakti, love for the country. Therefore, friends, it is extremely necessary for every one of us that we have to understand what we should do, what we should not do is not our freedom. Tasmat Shastram Pramanante. At the moment we all do our duties sincerely, the rights of everybody is taken care of. A common example which I normally give is this. We are here together. So it is a mutual interaction. In this interaction, you all have a right on me. You have not come here to waste your evening. You have come here to understand Bhagavad Gita, learn and practice in life. Therefore, if you have right on me, then I should stick to the subject matter and slowly lead you to the depths of this knowledge. This your right on me is right. If it is only your right on me or I also right on you, of course, Swamiji, you have right on me. Now, what is my right on you? You should not sleep. It is such a tragedy. You don't know. You come and sit here, then you'll understand. You are talking with all inspiration, and other one is perspiring. Of course, it is not his or her fault. It is my fault. I am inspiring him to sleep. See, if I report here on time, it is your duty. You report on time. See, but if we go on arguing, it is your duty to come and do the job you do. Our right is you should come on time. What will happen? I will talk about my rights, you talk about your rights, and both of us are written off. On the contrary, if I take care of my duty, you take care of your duty, mutual rights are taken care of. This is what is meant by Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavastitau. And once we take this view of life, then you will have no confusion. What to do, what not to do. Now see the scenario of Bhagavad Gita. What was the problem with Arjun? His problem was, Na etat vidmak kataranno gariyo yadva jayama yadivano jayu. Second chapter. We are not able to decide what should be done. Should we allow them to win or we should win over? When you are having a doubt about the very purpose of your functioning, you cannot function properly. then who will decide? What is the goal of our life? That is decided by our scriptures. And once you have the clarity of the goal, what? Second, you have the clarity of the means. Third, you have the clarity of your commitment. And fourth, you are responsible. When these four things come in your life, you are leading the most scientific life. And for that, recently I was in Ahmedabad and there was some function management and we were talking about leadership. And in that leadership, 2 points came out very beautifully. An ideal leader must have two qualities. One, he must have authority. Second, he must have dispassion. Now to make this point, I said, let us come together. I have all the dispassion, but no authority. So nobody listens to me. Second thing, all the big bureaucrats and politicians, they have got all the authority, all the votes, but no dispassion. As a result, in the lack of authority, only dispassionate person is an important. And in the lack of the dispassion, only an authoritative, lacking dispassion, such a person is a problem to the society. So who will be an ideal leader therefore? Who has authority as well as the dispassion. These two things are brought together under one umbrella called as the scriptural injunctions. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavastitau. So when I have to do something as my duty, there is no question whether I like or I don't like. Because that I have to do it. And once we start thus leading our life, then alone we are leading our life scientifically. Now the question is, we do not know the scriptures, what scriptures. After coming here only we have first time heard that there is something called as scriptures. हम तो बाबा रामायण पढ़ने वाले, तुलसीदास कहे, not scriptures. So, we don't know scriptures under following conditions. One, when we are not knowing, ignorance, through ignorance. Second thing, we do not know scriptures because we have never tried to know. Third, we don't want to follow the scripture as a reward. Now these three conditions are taken for discussion in the 17th chapter. And therefore, in the 17th chapter, Arjuna takes up this view for the benefit of all of us. I'll read this verse and explain you tomorrow so that we have entered the 17th chapter today. Arjuna Vacha Ye Shastra Vidim Usrujya Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha Tesham Nishtatuka Krishna Sattvamahoraristamaha. Hey Krishna, O Lord, kindly tell that there is a situation wherein they are not able to know and follow the scriptural injunctions. But they have got all faith, all Shraddha. What will be their condition? Should we call them perfect? Should we call them absolutely useless? Or should we call them a khichdi? Three options. So please tell me so that I will be able to go further. In reply to this question, Bhagwan explains in the 13th chapter. Now in this question there are many words which are very important. First is, when the students ask a question, he who has Shraddha. Now Shraddha means what? The second thing he uses the word Shastra Vidim Usrujya. Those who discard the scriptural injunctions. Such people, Techam Nishtha Tuka Krishna. What is the meaning of the Nishtha? These are few technical terms which we'll try to learn tomorrow. He conclude here. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.